Appreciate you all being here. We have some topics that we want to cover quickly today. I want to first start out that even though summer is winding down, we still have some summer activities available to those young folks, and we'll get into that in just a minute. We've had some discussion, obviously, on the budget, and we announced last week that we're going to shift some dollars around to make sure that our libraries and some other those quality of life amenities are going to remain open. We're able to do that by, at this point in time, we're looking at shifting $1 million from street maintenance. And of course, we've received some concerns about street maintenance, but I want to make sure that everyone understands what we're doing in terms of street maintenance right now. So today, our street maintenance programs in this budget is going to receive an extra $1 million over what we received last year. The original proposal was to add $2 million to it. So we're going to cut that back to $1 million increase in street maintenance. I want to remind people that street maintenance is also getting an influx of $10 million from the Hyatt proceeds. And so we are able to take those dollars and with some strategies that we've been working on for a while, fix, and Alan may have this on the tip of his tongue, fix nearly 207 lane miles of neighborhood roads. 207 lane miles of neighborhood roads. What that will do in percentages, it will fix nearly 41% of the city's poorest conditioned residential asphalt streets in 2017, 2018 in the next year budget. 41% of the 2019 budget. 41% of the residential asphalt streets will be repaired with these finances. I have the number right there.
As far as the number of miles?
And the percentage?
It's going to be 41% of the worst asphalt streets in the neighborhoods will be treated with this effort. So it's closing on half of it.
So I want to ensure the public that we are focusing on infrastructure more than we've ever done in the past in terms of utilizing dollars from the taxpayers. One of the approaches we are taking, and it's a little confusing, it's a two-step approach right now where we're going out on some of these asphalt streets that are in really bad shape, where we're cutting out chunks of it, fixing the cracks, making sure that it's settled. Then we will come back and do a coat over the top of them. People mistakenly think we're finished when we fix the cracks. We're now going back and putting a coat over the top of that. But we want to make sure the streets are settled before we coat them. And what we found is if we give it just a little bit of time between when we initially do the crack repair before we lay the thin coat on top, it makes for a more stable street. And so with that, we are going to be putting up some signs located around the city sharing this approach and when some of these streets will be done. One of the questions that we have often is, why are you spending so much money on signs? Staff has shared with us that the signs that they're installing right now to talk about some of these programs that they're putting in strategic places will cost us about $100 per sign. And we think it's a great way to disseminate information to the community so that they have that. So we think that's a relatively low cost to make sure that people are getting information about the streets that are being done in their area. I think we have a map on wichita.gov/neighborhoods that will show you the streets that are just being completed and the streets that are planned to be rehabilitated. And so you'll be able to go online and see which streets we're talking about. You can track the progress of the pavement preservation program, and just want to make sure people have the right information that we're still investing in that infrastructure for neighborhood streets. Anything you wanted to add?
No, Mayor, that's perfect.
Now for some good news segments coming up, because I know no one likes orange cones. But you're probably going to have some orange cones.
A lot of orange cones.
Two things we want to cover right quick. One, kids can still sign up. Parents, you can sign your kids 5 through 18 for a slew of summer activities still. So even though summer's winding down, we still have a slew of what we call the yes activities. You can sign up for bus rides, golf and foot golf at Clapp Golf Course, meals, forgiveness of outstanding library fees, and these bus rides that we are allowing these 5 through 18-year-olds to utilize for free. About 7,300 have taken us up on that. The passes are good through August the 31st, so there's still time to sign up for some of these great free benefits. Neighborhood Night Out sign-up reminder. Neighborhood Night Out will be held this year from 5:30 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday, August 14th. It was formerly celebrated as National Night Out and Celebrate Safe Communities. This is our third year to try this. It's an annual event, obviously. Registration forms for parties is available online again. If you need help from the city, we encourage you to register your party at wichita.gov/NNO, wichita.gov/NNO for Neighborhood Night Out. So far, we have about 61 Neighborhood Night Out parties registered with the city of Wichita. Convoy of Hope is back, and that's why you see everyone's favorite Stacy sitting over here on the side. So I'm going to bring Stacy up because she knows way more about Convoy of Hope and the orange cones that she's going to be putting out and how many people she's serving. Stacy, come on up.
Right. Thank you, Mayor.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, I just want to take a moment real quick and just say thank you to Mayor Longwell. Thank you to the city of Wichita, the Parks and Recs Department, and the city manager, and the different councilmen. Let me tell you what, they have worked overtime and just really made sure that we had everything that we need. And we could not do it without the partnership of the city of Wichita, and we appreciate you guys so much in helping us be as excellent as we can at this. So, and then a big thank you to the Wichita PD. Again, without them, there's no way we could handle the crowds that we see, the traffic we see, and it's just such a great collaboration of, nonprofits and city leaders and the city and the Wichita Police Department. So thank you so much, Mayor. We sure do appreciate it. Like the mayor said, yes, year number 6, here we are. We're ready to go. It'll be this Saturday, August the 4th, 2 sites again. We will have it at Bethel Life Center at 235 and Meridian, and then we will also continue to have it again at McAdams Park at 135 and 13th Street. We're expecting about 16,000 people. That's what we were preparing for. Last year, we had about 12,500. So we saw McAdams Park do about 4,500. So we're looking for about 6,000 at that park. So ready just to serve our community. We're doing a lot of the same things we had last year. We have 6,000 backpacks. We'll do 5,000 to 6,000 pairs of shoes. We will have haircuts, family portraits. We will serve lunch that day, a big kids zone with some fun stuff for the kids to do. We will also have something new this year in our community tent. We always try to provide our guest of honor a connection to the local nonprofits that honestly, they're doing what Convoy of Hope does one time a year. They're doing what we do every day of the year. And so we really want to be able to connect our guests with the nonprofits that are going on inside of Wichita to the goods and services that they need. But something new this year is Workforce Alliance of Kansas, Workforce Centers, is going to be joining us along with MHA. And we could not be more excited for this because what they're going to do, and it will happen on both sites. Both sites will look exactly the same. And what is going to happen is they're going to do a short orientation on on the hour, every hour, just to give our guests an idea of what they do. You know, they range from if you have not been unemployed for a while to maybe just lately you have been laid off. And the services they have are incredible for the people inside of Wichita. Then after that orientation, they will have an opportunity to do a short face-to-face, talking about what are the barriers of you getting the employment that you desire. Maybe it's you need to get some further schooling. Maybe you need a GED. Maybe some training, or do some kind of computer classes and those kind of things. And so they're going to do what they can to help people for that next step and really try to get them ready for the big job fair that's going to be happening in September. So we're very excited to add that part of it, because truly our desire is, yes, everybody loves to help kids, and I enjoy that as well, but we really want to take it a step further in not only creating sustainability, but what can we do for moms and dads? What can we do for single moms or single dads or grandparents and caregivers with maybe some of the struggles that they are having? And so I love it because between the two sites, we will need at least 2,000 volunteers, and that's a lot of people. You can go to volunteerkansas.org. That is our volunteer engine. We have a volunteer rally Friday night, 7 o'clock at Bethel Life Center, where you can get your parking passes and all of that good stuff. And so, like I said earlier, Wichita is filled with a lot of people that are filled with kindness and compassion. And we love that Convoy of Hope. What we desire is that when they come and serve that day, that they are sparked with the understanding that, you know what, take this kindness and compassion and that feeling that you felt today and look for ways to do it the other 363 days. We'll be back next year. But what can we do inside of our city and our community to really help those that are struggling? I remember what it's like to have struggled. I've struggled myself, and it meant a lot to have somebody come alongside of me and show me kindness and compassion. And we are excited, and we are ready to just, like I said, bombard Wichita with kindness and compassion and helping families this year get ready for school.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Stacy, we don't know how you do it. We don't know how you find the energy and the resources, but we are incredibly thankful to you, your organization, because it truly does make a difference in our community. It's providing critical resources to families that need it. And so we are incredibly grateful. So looking forward to you serving your guests again, and I love that. They truly are guests, and I think they feel that way when they come in there. And these folks are getting sometimes family portraits taken for the first time in years, and it just, you can see their self-esteem grow as you're serving them. So we'll open it up for questions since James Clendenin has decided to join us. You have any hard questions for Councilmember Clendenin?
One thing, Stacy, it would probably help us all if you were to spell your name for us.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Thanks.
Stacy, S-T-A-C-I-E.
Okay.
My last name is Cathcart, C-A-T-H-C-A-R-T. I'm the Executive Director of Convoy of Hope, Wichita.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll help us when we name a street after you.
Yes, thank
Appreciate
you.
that spelling.
It's now on video.
And speaking of streets, the 41% figure for the worst streets.
Right, 41% of the worst streets.
What percentage is that of the overall, or how many streets are there?
So Alan, come up here to the mic. But we grade our streets with, literally a letter grade. And so Alan can tell you now what that will bring our streets up to. So you have some idea of all of our neighborhood streets now, once these repairs are made, what grade they'll be at?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, they're in various shapes, but what we have identified was the worst of the asphalt neighborhood streets. This is not the concrete streets. We're talking about somewhere around 200 lane miles. We have 5,000 lane miles. So as you can tell, this is a small part of the total network that we have, but we purposely took the Hyatt funds that council provided, and we wanted to target those neighborhoods that had the most neglected, longest neglected streets, and that worked out to, for the amount of money that we were able to take, the $10 million part of the Hyatt proceeds, about 41% of those streets, and to bring them up into good or better condition.
And so once we get to that point, how many of our neighborhood streets would be classified as good or better?
Well, there's still another half of those neighborhood streets that are going to be considered in poor condition, but the rest of the neighborhoods, I don't know if good or better is a precise level, but they're in good condition, and we've made a lot of progress in the neighborhoods because we've been consistently doing a number of those streets. For example, last year, 800 and some miles with the other program, the maintenance program, and about 400 miles this year. So every year we've been really concentrating on the neighborhood streets. We're getting to a point now where we're starting to see a lot of those neighborhood streets, probably most of them, in pretty good shape.
What would be the most prominent streets that you're going to be working on? Are there recognizable names that we all drive down, or is it just really side streets and cul-de-sacs?
Yeah, it's not the arterials as you would think about it as you're driving through town. It's really in the neighborhoods, and a lot of it's in the downtown area, or the areas closer to downtown, the older parts of the city.
Alan, you were talking about, or actually the mayor was talking about these signs. Can you kind of just address what these signs kind of look like? Could we see an example and why they're so critical in trying to get the information out to the communities?
Yeah, I've got a couple of examples of those signs, and it's probably not easy for you to see from here, but what I can tell you is what they say. One of them says, "Are we there yet? New surface fall of 2018." Another one says, "This road is getting a facelift, new surface, fall 2018." It's a way to catch people's attention, help them remember the message, but most importantly, it's to let them know, as the mayor said, that we do that first stage, and people sometimes think we're done with the road, and it's a way for them to inform them that this is just the first part of a two-part effort, and that coming soon will be the second part, and it'll look more like a new street.
I don't know if I have that number.
You know, I'm thinking we have one, so we have 21st, and we have 53rd, and I believe we have one on each end, but I think we have two midway, so somewhere around 6 or 7, some number close to that.
Yeah, they're on the city's Facebook page.
Thank you. Other questions? Why has Megan?
Do you reuse the signs, or are they just one use and off?
The message will be dated. We can move them around within the year, and we'll reuse the blanks, but it actually has a time that we expect the new treatment to come. So obviously, after that time, we'll have to either reuse the blank or move it to another place in the city.
Okay.
Anything else? Enjoy your great weather, and if you get a chance, get out there and with your own eyes, see what Convoy of Hope is doing in this community this weekend. Stacy would love to have visitors, and I'm going to tell you, it's hard for us to explain the impact. It'll have more meaning if people get a chance to see it firsthand. Thank you.